effort that the players came after a week off of practices?
Yeah, I mean, the guys came back refreshed. I think it was a really smart move for everybody. You get in this part, these dog days of the season, and you get late into the season and long weeks. I think it's smart to find opportunities for everybody to take a deep breath and step back a little bit. So guys came back with an awesome attitude, coaches included. The Christmas tree action. Took down the Halloween here, got to do some to-dos. Exciting stuff. Yeah, I see the daylight. Perfect.
This is the first time I've been able to talk to you since Jeff's performance. So how do you think you were able to kind of game plan around him and put him in a position to be so successful?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think we talked about it going into it. Seems like a month ago now. Anytime you have a situation like ours where there's such a dramatic change in your roster, you got to get creative. Your back's against the wall, and you've got to find a way to get your team to understand, hey, here's the way we've got to go out and try to win a football game. And I think you guys did an awesome job of keep being open-minded when it comes to being creative on what maybe we hadn't done in the past that's in the playbook as a concrete core fundamental. And being open-minded to this is what we got to do to go win a game. And they executed. I think they played tough. I think Jeff stepped in and found a piece of the game plan in each situation, whether it be first and second down, throwing, running, red zone, and applied a full week's of work into it. And I thought he did a fantastic job.
Is there ability to build upon that when you have a bye week and you're seeing what you already were able to accomplish that allows you to stay ahead of defenses?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think there's an opportunity there to do kind of two parts. You're looking at what you're doing holistically and saying what are maybe some tendencies you got just situationally as a play caller, and then you got to kind of look at it. Well, it's a different deal after this week, so you go from like a 8 or 9 week self scout to about a 1 week self scout, and kind of merge those together a little bit and try to find ways that maybe you can build on what you did and build around the strengths of who you got. Jeff at quarterback and some different guys at wide receiver. And see what you can do moving forward for really each week to each week. And I think the staff's done an awesome job. The players done a great job because I've tried to go back and look at some old film and some crazy tape of other people or a long time ago doing some other stuff because of where we're at. So we blew the dust off a couple of playbooks and hopefully can find one or two little things that still keep us on page.
How much of that was new that you ran with Jeff?
Well, I mean, you haven't seen much of that, right?
No.
Shoot. I think at the end of the day, the X's and O's usually aren't really that different from something you're running schematically. You're usually running some facet of that run, or you have it in your inventory. We've done a lot of stuff here just a year, 2 years we've been here, that a lot of different things, and so had to kind of work them all together. It's more about piecing them together so they fit, and that's the hard part, is trying to make the things fit together and have the things complementary themselves. So there was some new stuff we hadn't done and that hadn't done very much of. There's some things we've done much of and kind of tweaked it around Jeff. A couple new wrinkles, and I think it's going to be week to week.
What have you seen from the other receivers in trying to compensate for Jordan being absent? Yeah,
I mean, this is, again, I think Jordan, again, an opportunity, unfortunately has an opportunity to step back and guys got to step up. That's happened a little bit last season and a couple different times. Happening in this season, and so guys are understanding. I think it's not a shock factor anymore to anything, especially this season at any position. When a guy goes down, the whole group understands that they've got to step up, and someone's got to be able to carry the flag at quarterback, at center, at guard, at running back, at wide receiver. And I think the full perspective of it all is a perfect example of what the receivers are going through without Jordan. And I think they're doing a good job of each week coming to work, and we're demanding a lot of them to try to mitigate that loss.
Jeff was able to connect in some shots downfield. So how important was it for maybe the confidence and kind of the passing game, but also show some balance and put that on film so opponents have to kind of keep things honest? Yeah,
no, I think it's a great point. I think you hope you can string those things together so that you can be effective in all your phases. Whether you're going to take some opportunities to push the ball and find some explosives down the field to balance out your play action and your run game. Any way to manipulate a little more balance is important, and so when you can hit those big shots and hit a couple of those plays, even conversion plays, conversion and moving the sticks and changing first downs are big as far as keeping things alive and adding complements to your system that teams have to account for.
We know the red zone offense has been a work in progress this year. Are you finding that with Jeff and his different skill set that you're able to tweak that approach a little bit to him?
I mean, it's been one game. It's hard to tell. I'd be lying to say, yeah, we got it all figured out. We're not there. We got a lot of moving pieces, and I think when you can use your +1 runs at certain times, then that helps you. Whether that comes into play each week is going to be dependent on who we're playing, and so I think opportunities for him to be that guy. I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, it's hard to fathom running your quarterback 28 times. To be able to say you're going to survive that, that's just big-time football, and it's a physical game. So hopefully we can find some of those aspects and some other people and get creative. But again, with the +1 run stuff, if he can be able to create it, is advantageous.
How have you seen Verleek handle his expanded workload from earlier in his college career?
I think Leek's done a fantastic job. I mean, we're asking more of him than he's ever had to do in his entire career. Candidly, I wish I could take some off of him, because I think at times, you get to the end of the season in early stages of your career, and he's still, to me, almost a freshman, right, or a young guy and an ability to play a full season. You worry about the wear and tear, and so in my mind, I hope I can give him a little more balance and give him a couple blows here and there to take off some of the load, because he's special. He really is. He can do some special stuff, and just like anybody else, when you get wore out, any of us get wore out, we're not maybe at our peak performance, and so late in the season, I think I got to be smart with him and find some ways to maybe freshen him up, but when he's on, he's on,
Was the expectation for Jeff to get as many carries as he did, 29 in total against Iowa State?
I don't know if I had a number. I don't. I'd be lying to say I had a number. I think I was hoping that it would be effective and efficient, and hoping he was durable enough to be able to do whatever we needed to do to win the game. And he did an awesome job. And I just know that I didn't know, as I've done this a long time, anybody carrying the ball 28 times is going to have an opportunity to be tired after that one. Guy at a bye.
What have you thought about Jalen Moss on the outside?
Jalen did an awesome job. He stepped up, made some big plays, and he's what we needed, right, at the right time. And he's got to build off of that performance. I think I told him earlier this week or last week when he was getting ready to take a little break, I said, hey, that's the block right there. And so we can't go back, and we need that from you. And so it's really good to see a guy step up. Malik made some big plays too. Shimon had other opportunities to make some plays. I think guys around everybody understand now we got to do this as a cumulative effort.
Shimon and Jeff are especially close. How do you think that chemistry played together has really helped out the offense?
Yeah, I think any time you get guys who are close on and off the field, they've got that inherent kind of ability to communicate effectively and know where guys are going to be at, just like any of us are being around buddies or played in sports. Well, you get that chemistry together and you kind of know where guys are at. You trust how they move, where they're going to be, and you kind of work for each other in a way that we're all trying to create.